Virgo, how you doing? This is going to be your April check-in. As always, take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Bits and pieces might resonate, so use your own discernment, see what fits your narrative, and don't force anything. Timeless tarot. So whenever you come across this reading, it could be for you, it could be similar upon these energies, or you've already watched them come by. Who knows? But as I said, use your discernment. So let's dive in for you, Virgo, for April. The Hierophant, Taurus energy here, like that. Judgment, you get two major arcanas. Wow. The Six of Wands, yeah, notoriety, success. And the Lovers, a choice has to be made or will be made. And you have the Two of Swords, another choice card. Left or right, back or forward, through the door, or shut it forever. That is where we're at potentially for you. The Two of Swords is, you have to kind of use your intuition a little bit. You are at a crossroads per se. And the fork goes left or right. It's completely up to you. The decision has to be yours. There's nobody here that can tell you which way to go, nor should you kind of like take that on. Just go with what you feel, go with what you know. That's what the Two of Swords is telling you. And what's kind of aiding in this decision or this change or whatever this is going to be is a higher sense of purpose, which is the Hierophant. Or you could be diving into a little bit more spirituality. And the Hierophant is upper level learning. It's not rudimentary, it's metacognition of a sorts. It's higher order purpose. You're finding your calling of sorts. And that's what judgment is asking. Those are two very powerful combinations. Have you learned enough to evolve? And I'm not saying that you are in a minuscule mindset. Not at all. What I am saying though is that you are leveling up in the best form for you. And whatever this could mean is the Six of Wands. So you could be getting a promotion. You could be finally hitting social media and just blowing up. You could be finally getting success at work, a promotion. You're getting recognized one way or another. And it's because of your actions. That's what the Six of Wands is asking you or actually portraying. You are getting recognized for the work that you've done, one way or another, whether it's with a boss, a manager, a corporation, a company, or within yourself, your significant other, your spouse, your kids, your dog, what have you. Because the Hierophant is saying, yeah, they are ready. Yeah, they have moved up. Yeah, they have learned. And because of that, you go from the Two of Swords to the Lovers, another big change. This is not just like the Two of Swords. It is a upper scale change. And it could be dealing with you with this promotion, this leveling up. You could be going to like a project manager, a senior project manager, a little bit more scope, a little bit more of an umbrella, an overreach of command, or just owning a little bit more of your purpose, whatever that is. And because you're drawing in more audience, because you're drawing in a little bit more attention to yourself, the scope of your visibility broadens. So that's what this is. If you thought that you weren't getting somewhere, I have news for you. You are. Simple as that. So let's get some clarifiers and let's dive in. Woo-hoo. Go ahead, Virgo. Let's see. Let's see here. With the Hierophant, you have Three of Cups. Time to celebrate. Celebrating the harvest, your hard work. Judgment. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, because it started something new. We'll get into that in just a second. Six of Wands, Page of Swords. 2 pages. Lovers. The Knight of Wands, the bringer of change. Fire. And underneath you have, look at that, the World. A new cycle begins. When you level up, you walk through metaphorically, you walk through a portal. Could be that door that I was talking about. Could be getting an office, building your own office. But with the Hierophant, with the Three of Cups, it is not only is that marriage, there is like somebody marrying you or you stepping into that marriage life and then your celebrations. I think that's going to be very few of you or somebody that's planning on that. But this also is just a celebration of who you are and your leveling up and your spirituality, just the hard work that you've gone through. It's okay to take some time to yourself and go out with some friends, have fun, celebrate life. If you don't know what to celebrate for, find something. That's what that harvest is. Look at something that you have worked so hard to be blessed with. Whether it's if you take a look around your apartment or your house and you realize how much stuff is on the wall. Is your refrigerator full? Do you have high speed internet? Do you, stuff like that? that you can look back and say, damn, I didn't realize how far I've come. Celebrate those small wins of whatever that is. Or you could be diving into your, like I said, your spirituality. You could be listening to tarot more, believing in yourself more, listening to your intuition, taking downloads and then seeing what they are and kind of guiding your path going on. Celebrate that. Not everybody gets downloads. And if you do, you are now recognizing them. And with the Judgment and the Page of Pentacles, now you know what to do with it. That's what this is. That leveling up is you knowing now what to do. And it's the death of the former and the rise of the latter. That's Jacob blowing his horn. And with the Page of Pentacles comes that newness. That is a new offer, a new idea or project, not necessarily idea, but project. It is a next level funding, stuff like that. If you could be grant writing or you could be looking at resources and whatever this comes in, it's now giving you the opportunity to use those resources to get to where you need to go. And if this is you getting that promotion, there's a little bit of a coin with that what is it, increase in pay because of your now newfound responsibilities. And with the Six of Wands, with the, excuse me, Page of Swords, that's that communication. That could be the communication of the offer coming in saying, hey, you won, you are getting this promotion, or you've been vying for a promotion and you had to go against other people that have been in the position for however long, and you had to interview. This is them saying, hey, you've won because we've seen your book of work. We've seen the accolades. We've given you accolades. We know you can do the job because you've been doing it. Or this is saying like somebody else taking a look at you because the Page of Swords is also inquisitiveness. Somebody could be looking into your historical work or your like I said, your book of work. What have they done with the projects? What have they done with this? And people are asking and they're getting to know you a little bit more, possibly talking to your team and saying, like, who is this person? Who are they to you? Stuff like that. I don't some people say it's spying in a negative sense, but I don't think that I find it more like a what they need to know or what they want to know, whoever this is. And with the Lovers and the Fire of Wands, here comes that liftoff. So that choice is going to be yours. Hey, do you take this or not? And if you do, it's going to be a fiery opportunity because that Knight brings in change. That is a Knight of Wands. And you're going to be pretty much hitting the ground running with this new endeavor, with this project, or with this grant, or whatever's coming down the pipeline for you. But it's going to be good because with the world here, and look at that underneath the world, you have the Hierophant, so you have a repeating card. So what that means to me is that the universe is telling you that because you've gone above and beyond in who you are, in your establishment, and just process of becoming, it has taken you now further than where you thought you probably were going to be, which is great. So let's get some crossing energies on all of these to see what could potentially hurt or not, like could be hinder. I wouldn't say hurt, either delay the process, what not to do, or some advice. Let's see. So with the Hierophant and the Three of Cups, the Queen of Cups, yeah, self-love. Could be dealing with the maternal, but I think that's Cancer minor arcana here, and it is maternal in its sense. But the Queen of Cups, the I would say it's not even a downside. It's just the aspect of the Queen of Cups is realizing how much you have to give. And that's what this is. If you are pouring from an empty cup, everything else kind of suffers, your work, your creativity, and all that stuff, because you're really drained. So the opportunity here with the Queen of Cups is you to focus within yourself on what you're getting emotionally. Is it enough? Don't pour from an empty cup, especially your own. There's not much to give. So take time to yourself. That's what the Three of Cups is. That's how you refuel your sense of being or your emotional state. And go be around people that appreciate you effortlessly. You know? Judgment, Page of Pentacles. The King of Swords. Tried and true. King of Swords faces things head on, looks at the truth, does not make emotional decisions, but rather rational decisions based on facts that we can see, witness, attest to, stuff like that. And the King of Swords is saying for you to step up, you can do that by looking at how you got to this point, not forgetting who you learned. Or that could be also a mentor saying, like, hey, this is a really good position for you. This is what I think you should work on. Or this is how I think you should present this idea or these projects or this in their interview. If somebody's reaching out to help, don't turn it away. Six of Wands and the Page of Swords. The Fool. A new beginning. I love that. That's Aries. We are in Aries season for like what, the next 4 or 5 days. I'm recording this on the 18th, so technically like three. But with the Fool here, it's a little bit different. You know, it's being willing to take that opportunity and run with it. It says that you're ready. The universe is what I mean. The universe is saying you're ready. It's up to you whether or not you want to do it. You have discernment, you have your own choices, and you have freedom. You have your own will. If you don't want it, you don't want it. If you do, it's going to be really good. The Lovers and the Knight of Wands. This Five of Swords. Yeah, you had to go through some competition here, winning at all costs. So with the Five of Swords, it's almost like a strategy at this point. I think that you might have good ideas other people didn't really like or they don't understand. That's one thing I learned about the corporate world is that most people who are afraid of something is because there's no full scope or there's a risk to it. I think with the Lovers here in the Knight of Wands, be careful going too fast with changes. The Knight of Wands with the Knight of Swords, those two are usually the fastest energies of knights that bring change. The fiery one is a little bit more ambition. I'm not going to reference Alanis Morissette's, you live, you learn. Don't bite off more than you can chew here. Take your time with it a little bit. And that's with the Five of Swords. You have this newfound energy of ambition and drive and success. Heed those with learning your role a little bit more, understanding what you can change, and present those in a presentable manner and don't jump the gun. Because look, the Queen of Swords is here and the Eight of Wands underneath the what's crossing energies here. So the Queen of Wands is also very factual, and the Eight of Wands is prepare for takeoff. Prepare to launch. This could be mean you going to travel in small distances, but it is an uplifting, upward mobility. This is who you are becoming. So with the Five of Swords, be careful with your words. We all know how the corporate world can be. Any kind of reputation. You've built it up, took you some time. It took a really bad meeting to knock you down. Be careful with this. Take your time. So let's get some closing advice for you, Virgo, and then we'll send you on your way. Let's see. We have the moon. Yeah, your moon. The Ten of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, hell yes. And then boom, the Chariot. Wow. Success is yours. The Moon. Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen with this position when you take it. You don't know what's going to be asked of you later on down the road. But the whole purpose of the moon and the fool that are coming out, the idea and the purpose is for you to use the Wheel of Fortune, take that chance, spin that sucker, and get your fortune with the Chariot. Go be successful in that position or this upgrade in life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to fail. You have the opportunity to make that choice yourself. Not necessarily fail, but I think you'd be a little bit more thoughtful when it comes to your approach. And what the moon here is, that should give you enough caution to walk slowly. Go slow with this position. The moon is temporary. It's not supposed to be a steady energy that keeps you trapped. That's up to you. The Ten of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune is saying you've already gone through this process. Spin the wheel. It spins in your favor for this new beginning of the world, which is a new portal of a beginning. And then, boom, the Chariot. You have all the tools to succeed here. And I think that you will. That's what I've got for you, Virgo. As always, be awesome, you be safe. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, and help me out. Leave a comment if this applies to you. But if nothing else, you have a great day. Bye.